Hey, I'm Philosophically Sadie, and I just had a random thought that I wanted to share with y'all. So, to introduce myself, I am a mentally adventurous mom of two with the need to speak and no one to speak to. So, you are now my Wilson. Come along with me on a wondrous yet boring adventure. All right, so here's my face. And now we're just going to move on from that because I actually have a really important message that I want to share with you today. And yes, I'm reading from a script because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just following what I'm being told. All right. So I think I left my last video off talking about how I believe that God was leading me to teach the children about the Bible and all of its stories and lessons and all the goodness of the Bible. And I thought that he was talking about in the sense of community or, in society, creating like children's books or whatever. But in hindsight, he was actually showing me that my children needed to know him more. God was showing me how to prepare them with the power and goodness of prayer. He knew that they would need his strength through the upcoming hard times. And in guiding and teaching my children of his love and grace, I also gained the courage to follow my heart and soul. And it became a test to prove that nothing can darken my soul. I'm quite literally in my Job era. The sacrifices that I've had to make for what's right and wrong, and the pain and grief that I've had to suffer because of that. The back-to-back tests of faith that I have faced. But like Job, I will not waver. Like Job, I will trust and love in the goodness of God against all odds. But you see, God didn't just show me himself through the Bible. He actually took me on this wild goose chase because honestly, anything less than I probably wouldn't have believed him. And I won't tell you all the different steps that we took because that's just between us. But what he does want me to share with you is that his goodness, his grace, his love, and his strength all are inside every little living thing on this planet. He's not just the Almighty God of the Bible. He's also Allah, and he's also Yahweh, and he's also Oldemire, and all of these different deities that everyone believes all across the world. He is literally the God of all gods. He is the wholesome, all-encompassing energy that created each one of us with our own little piece of him built inside the souls of us, of each of his creations. And now, organized religion and structured spirituality have been using it to keep us from being able to reach this complete balanced unity, from realizing that we all are a part of the same thing. All of these different religious spiritual titles and names, they're all just semantics, right? My God, your God, our enemies' gods, they're all the same because God is just where righteousness lives. And we all know what good and bad are. We know what that feels like in our body. We all know the difference between positive and negative emotions. Like we feel it in our soul, we can feel it in our bodies. And that's the main thing that most religions and spiritualities have in common. They all believe in a positive and negative figure fighting to find balance between the two sides. And hell, it's not even just in religious and spirituality books and movies. It's also in everyday movies and books, fiction, nonfiction. It's in everything. In every story, there is always this fight that the good guys overcome the bad guys or overcome their own negative struggles or it's always good overcoming bad, always. And all of these stories, whether from a religious book or your favorite TV show, they all share this same message. They all show the push and pull, the struggle that we all go through to find our own personal balance of good and evil, of negativity and positivity. And while we all do have a tiny little part of God inside of us, we're still human. And therefore, we still make mistakes. We will never, ever, ever be able to reach perfection. We just won't. And I learned that our God, our creator, our soul is always trying to guide us and help us to find that equilibrium, that harmonious balance inside of our soul. And all of these books and movies and shows, all of these stories, they show that, the good guy wins in the end and lives abundantly, or, learns their lessons and stuff. And, these are all the rewards or what you get for, doing the right thing. They're all supposed to be used as an incentive for us to, be the good guy in our own stories. But, also shows us to be the good guy in other people's stories. And that's, that's great. But I think that that's also too a test of faith. Because if you're only being a good guy to receive the benefits of being a good guy, then that's kind of like a deception to yourself. It's like you're trying to trick your own God, your own soul, that your intentions are pure when they're not. And, we can't lie to our souls. They know our deepest truths and secrets. Our soul knows all the things that we try to hide in the darkness. And I think that that's where, a lot of people try to lie to themselves and say that they're doing good, but their intentions are just for gain. And greed is a sin. Therefore, you're not actually good. You're not aligned with what you're saying. And this is an uncomfortable truth that a lot of people don't want to say, don't want to see. And because of us having good inside of us, we also have bad. So God is inside of us, but so is the devil. Good is inside of us, so is bad. Positivity and negativity, light and dark, however you want to phrase it, for your chosen religion. Regardless of how you look at it, they both live inside of all of us. And this is why we're here. Us as humans. We are here to balance out the Creator's soul by balancing our own soul and by helping others find ways to balance their souls so that we can all be balanced, so that the Creator can finally have their soul balanced. We all know right from wrong by the emotional feelings that we get in our soul when we experience something super impactful. In our soul, we will feel warmth and passion and squeezing or buzzing sensation when we experience something good happening in our story, while we will also feel cold and distance and darkness or a shattering feeling when we are experiencing something painful and negative. And even though we know that we'll never be able to be perfect, we still try and want to try to avoid as much negativity and pain as possible. Sometimes, that darkness can start to consume the goodness and the light that's within our souls. Sometimes that darkness leads us down paths that take us further away from reaching or maintaining our soul's balance. That cold, broken darkness you feel when in troubled times, it is your soul fracturing. If you keep pushing through all of the broken pieces, you may reach a point of no return, a puzzle that can never reach wholeness again. I'm not really sure why darkness and negativity is so hell-bent on consuming the light and righteousness. I have tried my very hardest to stay away from that negative part of my soul. But while I've never personally, while I've never felt the depths of my own evils and darkness in my soul, I have seen them through the eyes, mouth, hands, and heart of the people that I really, really loved. I watched the evil consume them and turn them into the very things that brought the darkness to their souls to begin with. And while I know that they are so far off the righteous path that they are going to have to walk through internal hell to reach their light again, I have faith that they can. I have hope that they will. But ultimately, that is only their choice. Only their choices can lead them back to their light. If they are honest with themselves about the deepest, most hidden parts of themselves, acknowledging them and making positive changes to reflect that, I believe they can find their soul's balance again. I want to believe that everyone and anyone can find the redemption within themselves. But that's also another big lesson I've learned, is that everyone is on their own journey, and that my help will only be helpful to those who are at the point of their journey that they're ready to hear this. And it's okay. That's part of the way that all of this was designed. Life. We aren't meant to be on the same journeys. Some people just aren't going to be aligned at the same time. And that's okay. It just means that you gotta have boundaries. And there's no ill judgment or negativity to those people. We know. We've been there. We've all been there. If you've ever gotten this type of spiritualness, you will know that you've been there. And so who are we to judge? All we do is send prayers of positive vibes and hope that they will also be able to see the light and feel the warmth of God in their soul. So just give goodness and positivity a try. Go do something enjoyable and helpful for yourself or for someone else. And when you feel those tingles coming on, when you feel the warmth in your soul, know that that's your very own little tiny hug from your God. And remember that we do unto others as we want done unto us. Now go and share those warm hugs and all your love with your neighbors. Peace.